Hey everyone, it's Crazy Dirt Biker, here to give you a piece of your medicine for all of you YouTube fiends. It's March, it's a new year, and so I guess I'll start doing the Venus Flytrap updates monthly. I haven't made any videos as of late. Usually during the winter I don't make many videos on the Flytraps, mainly due to the fact there's just not much to see. I mean, they were dormant all winter. The temperatures are just starting to warm up. They're still dormant. I'll probably put them out next week. I've put them outside like twice. We had a couple warm days, but for the most part they've been in the garage. So yeah, it'll start warming up next week, and I think we'll start seeing some massive improvements on growth here pretty soon. So let me just walk you through and show you what's going on with my 3 varieties that I have and talk a little bit about them. So this is the plant that I started. It's a typical Venus flytrap. I started this back in like 2013, I think. The videos are still on YouTube. You could literally see when this plant was just a single plant. These are all rhizome separations from one plant. They've all divided into this many. I have no idea how many are in here. Probably around a couple hundred, 250, 300 plants. I'm not too sure. So these are the typicals. I've had pretty good success. I've been putting these plants in bigger and bigger pots every single year until finally I've gotten to where I am now with this massive pot that I can barely even pick up, literally. And when it's waterlogged and soaked, because they have to stay wet, it's just really even more heavy. It's just a really heavy pot. I gotta get something to try to move this thing around. Yeah, I could separate them and put them in other pots, but I just find that it's so much easier to take care of them when you have them all in one pot, because you don't have to have as many pots and pot as many and water as many. It's just so much easier in one big pot. So that's what I do with my typicals, and pretty much what I plan on doing with my other 2 varieties. But right now they're only a few years in. I think it's going to be a really good year for the Goldstrikes. There's a lot of little babies in that pot that are going to need repotted. They'll probably, I'm going to leave these alone for this year, but I'm going to take these, the Goldstrikes and the DCXLs, and especially with this one, you can see I potted them a little low in the pot, and as you can see with the light, it's just even outside the way the sun hits it. I got to bring this up a little bit, get them closer to the surface, and I'll separate a lot of the little clusters as I go, and I'll put them in the same pot and just space them out a little better. But this definitely needs to be higher to the surface. I have a peat and sand moss, a peat moss and sand mixture in this. Last year was the first year I decided to use sand, and I like it. I think it keeps the aeration a little better, and it keeps it from packing too heavily. So I like the sand and the peat mix. These are the DCXLs. The light sucks in here, I'm sorry. A lot of little babies. New rhizome. Duplications. I've never let any of my Venus flytraps flower. I've never had seeds. These are all from just the rhizomes duplicating over the years, and that's just how I kind of seem to do it. The Goldstrikes here. It's gonna be kind of hard to see, but there's so many little flytraps in here. Just little clusters of them. So these are one of my favorite flytraps that I have, the Goldstrikes. I think they're really beautiful plants, and they're only a few years old, so I can't wait until I have a pot like these with the Goldstrikes. It's just going to be unbelievable. But anyway, there's not much to say. I mean, they're dormant. There's not really much to look at. What I did do is, a lot of this was just all black. It was all dead growth, literally everything. And I usually take all of that out before they come out of dormancy, just to make sure that they get enough light. So That is one thing also that's kind of a chore, is when these things go dormant the next season, there's just so much dead growth on here, and all of this is actually last year's growth. This isn't anything new from this year. This is all last year. It was all under the dead leaves that I pulled out. So usually about half of it'll die back. And this might look like a lot, but really, compared to what was on there, a lot of it has died off. So anyway, it's a new year, new updates, and this is trap life.